Greetings, and welcome to this evening's stream. I am your host, Lilim Nightshade, and you may be wondering why you cannot see me again today. I assure you that there is no issues with VTube Studio or our camera this time. However, I have realized that it has been a while since you last saw me, and your memory of what I appear, or your memory of my appearance may be different than what reality is. Who knows? I figured it was not right to just shock you if I looked different than how you remember, so I wanted to warn everyone first before I made my appearance. Unfortunately, I was not able to show this last week. So this is not actually rigged. Well, it is, but it is not. We were not able to afford a rig on this. So for the time being, we just have the bare minimum that we did ourselves, just so the mouth and eyes move. But it is not a proper rig. Everything that is not part of the face is not touched at all. But rigging is very expensive. And that is enough. Not for our satisfaction. It does feel a bit more, despite how stiff I may be, even for me this does feel a bit stiff, and lacks a bit of natural movements that one would make. Thus, even though the mouth does open and close to an extent, it is not properly rigged. Ideally, if we can get some time to work on this further, we can do the mouth forms properly. As when you are doing live 2D rigging, there is a way to rig the mouth so that it can make different shapes which represent different vowel sounds. Because as far as realistic speech goes, when you speak, the shape of your mouth is not always the same for every sound. So the idea is to replicate the different sounds so that it goes with what is being said. You see fangs? Well, that is not new. Even the old one had fangs. But at any rate, this is just the start. If we ever acquire the time to work on it further, we will improve it over time. Or if we ever acquire the money to pay someone to do it. But the artist who drew this wanted to charge an additional $500 to do the rigging on it, and that was out of the question. Yes, Live 2D is very expensive. It is the reason why we often say that our streaming efforts have put us into debt if you consider the profits from streaming versus the expenses of it. The two are not even close. Now, hopefully in the future we will be able to continue to work on learning how to rig so that we can make more out of this. That likely will not happen anytime this month, as we simply do not have the free time during this sub-drive. But in the future, after things die down, there may be some time to work on it someday. But for now, I should get ready to resume the game. Actually, before I do that, there was something that I almost forgot again. Given the technical difficulties of last week's stream, I forgot to mention something that I was supposed to. So this might be a good time to finally do that. For those of you who are unaware, we also have a merchandise store, which has various ZG merchandise. And I am plugging that right now because there are 2 new items since the last time we advertised it, which are both related to me. They are a couple of posters. That is a link in chat to the store. And essentially, these 2 posters have been recently added. So if you were interested in having a Lilim Nightshade poster, there are 2 to choose from. And in the future, we like to have posters for the other members as well. But these just happen to be the art assets that we were able to attain. That is correct. You have not seen the left one. No one has. This is brand new to the world. It was supposed to be a surprise. They come in various sizes depending on what you wish. Depending on the size, it can be anywhere from $9 up to... Actually, I don't remember the most expensive one at the moment. But I know the cheapest, smallest size one is $9. The next size up, I believe, is $15. So it just depends on the size you want. We actually do have the one on the right hanging on our bedroom wall. Though we do not have the left one at the moment, since that is newer. But if you have any interest, I pasted the link to the store in chat so you can check that out and place an order. Also, if our sub drive reaches a high enough milestone, oh, I should check which milestone that is. Need to get rid of this, because I do not recall offhand which one it was, but there is a certain milestone that would unlock a free merchandise giveaway to chat in general. Let's see where that was. But I still have... I cannot find the list of details for the sub drive at the moment. Ah, here it is. So it'd be 20 points for that one, so it's pretty far in. But hypothetically speaking, if 20 points were achieved, then we would basically do a giveaway. Hopefully the feature works, but supposedly Stream Elements has a built-in feature that can link to our store. And if we type in a command, it will choose a random person in chat and give them an item. So that's basically the idea we have for that 20-point goal. At any rate, I will switch over to my gaming layout so I can resume the game. Which is not exactly what I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a more standard strategy RPG. It is not. Despite being called Metal Slug Tactics, you would think, like Final Fantasy Tactics and other games with tactics in them, that it'll be a strategy RPG. But the more I think about it, honestly, this is more of a tactical roguelite. Because after every mission you successfully complete, you gain rewards that can further your progress and improve your characters. Everything seems to be randomly generated, and if you lose, you just go right back to the start at the base. So it definitely has like those roguelite elements, which I did not expect. It's not the first time I saw a blend between a roguelite and a strategy RPG, but I would say that the other time I saw it, it's more SRPG and probably incorporates the two elements better. Like, it's essentially better as a roguelite and better as a strategy RPG because it's hard to explain. I had to show that game and maybe someday I will. But it really does a good job of utilizing both systems well. Whereas this seems to have an identity crisis and isn't sure what type of game it wants to be. But it does seem to be more roguelite than anything else. So I suppose this is some sort of boss fight that we have to engage in. There's no information on it, so you just have to figure it out, I suppose. And I assume there's gonna be mortars all over the place. That's the one thing I can guess based on this text at the bottom. It's the first time I've done one of these types of fights, so we'll have to learn as we go on. Maybe it's not a mortar, maybe it's an issue of running from something. Because it'll run you over if you don't move. And that's the correct assessment. Like I said, it's an identity crisis. It's trying to be too many things at once. And I don't say that to imply that this is a terrible game by any stretch. There are aspects about it that are enjoyable. But it is a lot to get used to because how strange it is. Mission start. Okay, this is a bit of a... Well, it's not a mortar situation, but it's more of a collapsing stage situation, I suppose. Nothing happened to me. If you were here at the beginning of the stream, you would understand. I would encourage you to rewatch the VOD after it is released for more information. Guess that cannot be reached. Try not to stand too close to that barrel. Very well, Cesar. You may ask your question. Okay, that has a sink. She has additional move possible, but I believe this is probably the best location for her right now. If you couldn't fight one villain from Castlevania, who would it be? You mean as in invite over? Because spend some quality time with. You might think that my answer would be Dracula himself. And while that is not a bad answer, I think I would rather say death as my answer. Those who know me know what. I thought this area over here, where that one soldier is, was one of the ones that got shot. And yet, I suppose it only shoots us and not the enemy, which does not seem particularly fair. Be difficult to get out of that range. I think this is the only spot that is outside the mortar range. Game doors jokes. Now you sound like a character from that, was it Strange Life comic? Oh, will not work. This shit might be difficult to use, but at least I can hit both of these. Thanks to... something is amiss. I'm assuming that it's just talking about following a turn. Skip Tracer Randy from the rookie. Obviously, I have not seen the rookie, so... although I know you reference it from time to time, I have no personal familiarity. I should probably turn the edge scrolling back on. I usually do not like that, but because of the fact that I'm playing exclusively with mouse, I think it's going to be helpful. I do appreciate that they have the option. The other game I was talking about that has a Strat RPG roguelite combination does not have the option. You have to have your mouse pan when it hits the edge of the screen. There's no way to turn that off, which is annoying because we tend not to use the mouse in that game. Exclusively, at least. So the mouse just tends to pan the camera when we do not want it to do that. Should be a relatively safe area to move. Never mind. Why did the area change now? I'm confused. Is there something about this that I do not understand? Are they forced to take damage, no matter where they are? It seems like the mortar is locked onto her. I do not like that. That feels bad. I didn't appreciate that game design choice. See what people do with her. Seems he locked onto both of them, honestly. I do not know how I got Marco to a safe spot, but I cannot get the rest of the characters to safety. Not sure I'm gonna go too far up. Oh, that was the wrong power. Meant to do the regular bomb. She can move again, but that would just move where this mortar gets placed. I'm not certain that helps. Do you just end the turn? That was correct. It is locked onto them no matter where they are. That one actually got destroyed. It's gonna be a little difficult. Sarah's supposed to be the boss, I believe. But what is the boss? What constitutes as that? I cannot believe that the boss would be the ship itself. So do not believe we can even attack that. I could be wrong. It does not appear as though that is the case. I would have liked to go into safety. Now the boss is not able to be target. Not teaming up to attack that one. Not what I expected. Hannah should not have moved her there. command do that move. Do not want that either. And it being there is a problem. I assume it's gonna just hit Theo. Grant, Shine does 2 damage, right? I mean, that's not an issue. So I might be worrying about nothing. Fair enough. Argue me 3 defense versus 2 defense. I'll prepare for the next turn. Cindy, you'll be able to hit somebody. Even when it shoots where they are, they do not take damage. Extra stage. Can I make it out of that? Take cover where? There is no cover. Ah, this is 1,004 randomly. Yeah, this is not possible. The off-limits area is well exceeding the potential movement. I feel like I maybe not always use full move at every turn, but I felt like I moved pretty far while trying to avoid getting into the shot range. And yeah, I find myself unable to move out of the range of this. I'm uncertain how much farther I would have to have moved. Why is my movement so poor? I wonder if you cannot move past your own allies. I'm getting suspicion that that's the case. It's like, cause she moved 6 spaces this way. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is not possible. It's as if Marco being here blocks her movement. Which is very bad game design. This map basically becomes unwinnable very quickly. If I could kill something with Aerie, there's a potential chance she could get her Mad Bomber buff that would allow her to move again. I cannot be certain if that would be enough, but she's targeted with fire, so she's gonna get hit no matter what. This is strange. Why are these squares not applicable? The only space I can move is in a space that is going to be shot. I can go here. Does she have it under attack? She's under attack. That's interesting. I do not know why she is under attack, but she does. Because she uses this on herself. And I probably should have done it before I used it, but I was too eager to see if it would work. Because she would have assisted in that attack if she did not use the ability first. She has still movement she can use. Aerie's not gonna survive very long. Oh, they should kill. Okay, they look shit may kill them first. No, just attack me. Okay, Nelly died. But my characters are very low on health now. Because of the strange way that this has to be played. It does as far as I can go. She can go all the way over here. Theo's predicted to die. It's in a particularly good position to be in. Let's see anywhere I can go where I can attack, though. Other than here. But then my concern is that I will not be moving far enough. Thus, my other concern is that I'll be destroying my allies by doing this. Look like it shot the ship. Too bad that does not count. Alright, she can still move further. But do I want her to? I suppose over here might be fine. Then again, right now she has 4 defense. And she means sacrificing that. Less be targetable more. At the risk of getting stuck again, I will keep her behind because she is lowest on health. I suppose both the girls have the same amount of low health. Because they're always in the face of the enemies. Due to being the ones who can actually move. I still do not know what the take cover means. Because as far as I know, you cannot take cover. Is guaranteed to be hit. I feel like that will not do enough. Let's get her out of here. Take your enemies' cover so they stop hiding. My enemies do not have cover. who is the most dangerous. Technically him. But I cannot deal with him. Where she can go is safe. There's pretty much zero chance that Theo survives the next turn. She has a guaranteed 3 damage being done to her, which will drop her to 1 HP. And then there's all these other enemies that can potentially attack her. We just have to hope to not lose every character in the same turn. I'm still annoyed that if those shots target the enemies, they don't friendly fire. Because logically they should. So we are gonna die on the same turn. There's no way I complete this mission. I was hoping that they would kill the one who only has 1 HP left, so I could call reinforcements and presumably bring her back at full. But the way it's being handled, they're just getting whittled down. Possibly, but they do not all function the same way. Because I don't feel like you keep anything, or even I suppose the reinforcements feature unlocked permanently. But all of these, the upgrades, like the new skills and stats, well, I don't know if they were stats, but they're new skills I obtained for my characters. Those go away if you lose, I believe. So there's no actual progress. And I haven't gotten deep enough into this game to get any sort of, or to get enough currency to purchase things. So I'd be basically starting back from square one. Typically, it's built with the idea that you gain something before you fail that you can at least use to carry over. I'll do as much damage as I can before she dies. Too bad. Lost a run where I had a character with the ability to drain health. That'd be very helpful right now. How far can I do tactical strike? I'm still not sure. Oh, well, I see. You can fight the boss. Okay, you can target the boss. I should have been doing that all along. Previously, it did not look like the attack would actually hit, though. Not a lot of damage. Press that all I can do. It says she has movement, but I do not see any places she can go. Or is that an action? She does a bonus action. Interesting. Greetings, Shirky. They're gonna spread their attacks out in the most annoying way possible. Drop all my units down to one so they can kill him in a single turn. Looks like their man recycles. I didn't get safe from this one. Boss has way too much health for me to do in a single turn, though. It does not appear as though I can get safe this time. It certainly is taking out 2 platforms, it looks like. So this is certainly game over. Going to do as much damage as I can. I wish I knew I could actually target this ship earlier. That would have helped. Can't have the range on this. Line of sight might be blocked. I could still order the tactical strike. Oddly, it does not look like I get any synchronization bonus this time. Ah, that is right. Bosses can only be synced with once per turn. I had forgotten. She moves. She just invites death upon him. So I have to actually keep her in harm's way and hope somehow Marco does not die, which is not a possibility I see happening. This area is not safe either. There is no safe area. No matter what I do, everyone will die because of the way they spaced it out. I wish this game would explain more to you, but it did not. And it feels like it changes the rules arbitrarily. So I'm assuming that restarts everything. Does every death give you a new feature? Is that how they handle the frequent losses? To upgrade various characters. Weapons. I'm assuming it's just for Marco right now. Okay, this is becoming a lot more roguelite at this point. These are the skills you can get after battle. You can just buy them outright, I believe. Not sure who the rifle user is. Is that Theo? I do not have much in the way of point yet, as I said before, so it doesn't seem worthwhile to mess with these. Not that I have a choice yet until I beat a campaign. Then I may get another character. They are into ads now. So will that start a new mission? I'll click the map because there's nothing I can do but the same things I've done already. Just different random spots. But we'll answer that once the ads are done to see if it is a different transmission than before. For those of you who do not receive ads, I apologize for the annoying beep in the meantime. I did not recall that there was the transmission before every mission that would do this sound effect. But now we are stuck having to listen to that on loop. Never mind, decide to give up. That is good game design. I see. It's appropriately loud for me. But I do not know what it is like on stream for everyone else. Not that I would really want to rebalance it, because then I will change it for all games, which may be undesirable later. I see. I should have given enough time for ads to run. Let us resume. Okay, it does seem like it's a different message. Very well. Less than 7 HP worth of damage. Easier said than done.
Get ready.
I suppose this will be my usual exercise in running around the map.
Mission start.
Wait. Yeah, I can't make it to the cover. Unfortunately, their weapons are so weak that it's hard to finish enemies off before I have a chance, or before they have a chance to hit me. Even a synchronized attack doesn't kill a single enemy in one go. So, I kill one enemy only out of 3 attacks. I doubt I'll be finishing this with less than 7 HP worth of damage. Two. Another 2. Oh, we already failed down the first turn. They even used cover. Well, see how he bombed herself? Guess smart enough not to do that at least. I could actually do this, but I want to see. Okay, it does hit both. If I do that. Fortunately, she cannot attack from where she is. Hope will not help any. So it ends the turn. Though it's not as though I can move Marco out of the way to shoot. If this is what I want to have happen, that will not help.
Victory!
Not bad. Never even used a grenade launcher. Not sure I like that. It says slow. But what does it exactly mean in this context? Of course, they're all for the machine gun or grenade launcher. And the secondary weapon, essentially, which I don't use that often. Bonus seemed not great for that one. Never have any KO. Survive 4 turns with 1 unit. Well, this is different. I have not yet done a survival mission. So I'm not sure why I'm losing reinforcement. I've never used this yet.
Get ready.
So this is just survive. And bonus if nobody dies. There's a possibility I can pull that off.
Start.
It's so weird that I often have 4 deploy spaces even though I can only have 3 units. Wait, can we rescue these?
Thank you.
There is a game reference. Soundbite's a lot different though. Let's actually use a machine gun for once. She still has an action, but no one to use it on. Keep in mind, she does have someone to use it on. Is it sure she gets shoot up the sandbag? Not sure why I thought that was going to work. I would damage it, but not completely destroy the cover. I'd be fine with that. Just to get the extra sink damage in there. With the sword throw, Gears is like that. You'd think the object would block the sword. Also, String to that has AoE. there fully blocks it. Why do you have 6 defense? I only get 2 defense from that. There you have 2 defense, but if I use the machine gun, it seems like it puts all the bullets into the defensive tile instead. Not sure yet why that is. There nothing, I suppose. I'd rather have more characters in that range. I did take what you can get. And here I get not very much. It's great that make it difficult to not get him KO. No one to attack from here. Let's move her first.
Thank you.
Untouchable. What to do with Marco is unclear. Just staying next to that guy is not a good idea though, because he's just gonna keep throwing swords from where he is. If I can get him to move from his cover, that might help a little bit. Fleeting move practically nowhere. That sword guy can still get her. But I mostly don't want to be in his line. Because it does pretty much get rid of all of Theo's options this turn. Gonna make it difficult for him to survive. Kind of want to get him, which is kind of why I moved him there. I was hoping I could reduce the number of units could reach him. And to survive one more turn without anyone dying. Let's finish this one off. He's in good health. I might be even to be a bit more risky with her. Glad there's AoE damage. Not sure what that is from. Oh, I think maybe I understand. If the one in front falls, the bullet just goes through and hits the guy behind him. I'm assuming that's what that's all about. That's an interesting mechanic. You get out of harm's way. She's in live danger. If they're hoping at full health she can survive a turn. Do not believe anyone can reach this spot. Unfortunate thing is that... I suppose I can do that at least. The turn is not wasted. Let's see if Phil survives. It's how intelligent the AI is. We're still said they're not very intelligent, so she'll be fine.
Victory!
That was one of the easier maps. You know what the supply drop was all about. Nothing I could pick up. Somehow the experience points are not in sync this time.
Supply drop!
Consumable. So they do have consumables in this game. Deploy a metal slug. Generally a good idea. But at least gain a bonus move. That can be useful in getting away from that boss I just fought. But at some point I feel like even if I had an extra move, it wouldn't help. And Isolated airstrike. I think the metal slug is the best of those options.
You're great.
You say so? Wait, force march do again? Just gain bonus move while doing nothing? Not a fan of that. Ricochet worked out once, which is better than not working out at all. What did this do again? More powerful than this, but doesn't gain the bonus action. So, she jumps to a tile and everything around her takes damage. That could be useful. I will try that. Regeneration. This can be very good if I ever think to use it. And that's kind of the one problem with it. Is I have to actively use that instead of attacking. But it could save her from death at pinch. I just rather have that later and take this passive. Just because health is so hard to come by. Anything I can do to recover it might help. Oh, she gets 2 level ups. That is interesting. Unfortunately, she lost the other one I was interested in because I just re-rolled the whole thing, so you pick 2 from that menu. Two turns next turn by sacrificing 1 this turn. Not a fan. This can be good on bosses if it works on bosses. But this actually came in handy just for getting over obstacles and still doing damage. So then we have to find a 3rd mission. Survive again. The survival mission was not terribly difficult, but I'd rather try something different. Win in 3 turns? That does not sound like something that is going to happen. What's my other option? Oh, there's a name. Targets never have a KO. That sounds reasonable. That just gives me ammo. I guess it's a supply drop. Those are good to have in your back pocket, so I will try this. I think it's reasonable to accomplish.
Mission start.
Oh, I see. It still has my ammunition from before. There's a refill between missions. I suppose that's what the ammo meant. So I'm not gonna need to do many more machine gun attacks. I assumed there was just a limit for that one mission. That is not the case. Found machines in the lab side of both those grenaders. They do 5 damage. So they're gonna do 1 to her. Blow up that cover entirely, probably. Unless the cover does also reduce damage. That's more damage, but not enough. Yeah, I'd rather not approach it like that. I think it's that only he can attack her. Of course, she can't attack him without taking damage. Well, I suppose she negates the damage. Is there a better position to go to? I think he can hit her by proxy of the AoE splash on that. It goes here. Yeah, that looks safe. Not a lot of damage, but it's something. It's a start. If we could bring everybody else up to go after those grenaders, then we could potentially get to a point where we can finish this map block pretty quickly. Drop down right beside her. So 1 more left, which I should be able to get now with the combination of Marco and Theory, if I do this correctly. Plus, assuming she reaches, because she can reach. Simple enough. Hopefully that was the 3-turn victory one.
Supply drop.
Nothing dream about it. Which is good because I use a lot of his weapons.
You're great.
Versatility. I'm not a fan of any of these. Because he doesn't have any gifts and bonus actions right now. And these are all terrible. Interesting. That could be useful. So she has to move around a lot. Then also this move I was not able to get before. Gannett pose actually can be very useful sometimes. But let me go with the passive. So now we have to run back the boss. This will be our final map of the stream tonight. This time, I suppose I'll try to be more active in attacking the boss and ignore more of the enemies. Unfortunately, my assets are worse this time. I cannot use Tactical Strike because I didn't for once. And the Middle Slug probably will not... Well, maybe the Middle Slug will help here. I cannot say for certain. It does good damage. It has multiple attacks.
Get ready. Mission start.
It's bad enough that the platform collapses, but being force targeted, like locked on targeted, and then any ally that is near the AoE around that character also will get hit if they're not targeted. I feel like you should just target a specific spot instead. But considering she's already being targeted, that may be okay. Maybe it is not. It's just double hit. I'm not entirely certain. Do not want this thing to there. Maybe from Pan. That I do not mind. See, it acts like he's gonna take the 4 damage as well, but in my experience that doesn't happen. that will hit the boss. That may help. And so I can do this turn. Of course, I left a lot more enemies alive, which could be an issue. Because they stand to... Oh, that time it did hit the enemy. I stand corrected. I guess your goal is to get them hit with you. Didn't think about the AoE on that. Swords having more AoE than guns is interesting. You friendly fired. Where he left that brown. The turrets go nuts on the boat's turn. Notice on the boat's turn, you see these areas that are all marked in red? That is where the boss is going to fire. So the turrets just spin around like crazy to emulate it just firing. It's supposed to be like kind of haphazardly, randomly, but because it's a game to let you know where it's actually going to land. But it's supposed to be just firing at random to try to do whatever it can to you. Then to quickly get off of these lands. Not too happy with that placement. And the options are limited. Could I grenade juggle you? I can. Merkel do a little bit extra damage. I guess that was one thing. The boss is so big that I can get hit by a lot more things. So there is that aspect. Chaotic artillery, yes. This is interesting. Do I deploy the metal slug now? I feel like the position is wrong. If I could get over here, perhaps. Or somewhere where I have like a straight line on the boss so I do not have to move. And can just fire on him with the metal slug. I prefer that. This might be the best I can do with Marco. She's not in a good position at all. So we have a marginally better spot, but it's technically better. I cannot get there. That's looking like 2 damage. I'll do it. Oh, that heals her, that is right. I forgot about that. Wait, he still has an action? I thought he used his salvo already. Oh, that hits her too? Which just hits her. Interesting. No ricochet then. Standard hit. Now she gets extra move. I may be overreaching with her. Actually, what's her defense? Only 2? Yeah, that is an overreach. Cuts 4 damage to her. But I don't feel like she's much better where she was. Let me figure out how the deploy metal slug actually works. Like if I deploy it here, can she still get into it? Or does that require... If it does not work. I was afraid that would be the case. I think you need either an action or movement. I'm uncertain which. I probably should have dropped it before moving her to see if it was just movement. Now that might be a waste of a metal slug. The lead at field can go anywhere useful. The other spots she can move are worse. We'll just have to deal with this. So much for that man who was lounging. Did not expect that shot. No Slug might have blocked some attacks. Or he's something from getting to her. So now is deep. That's time for her to go into... Oh, that move doesn't help. So does he just fire? Can do a great deal of damage just taking those guys out. I will think about it. This is cover for now. Got to have another ad break. Not happy to have to move Marco there. Even that will not kill. Leave those, then it gave this. I woke in the snake. I didn't even realize I was there. Perhaps not what I wanted. You mean Klaus? Not too happy with Narco's position currently. Can I improve that any? It might be slightly better. Of course, I can move her, but it'll move her into the snake range. So is that necessarily. We can go here. But then she'll just be a target. She has 5 defense where she is. Which is decent. Yeah, I feel like she'll be in more harm's way if I move her, since she'll lose her defense. I'll hold still. Now that guy's still alive. Maybe a snake will fish him off. Trying to take out my metal slug. And now I have no choice but to move. But the snake basket went back to sleep. This should defeat the boss. Outright.
Victory!
Which, if I'm not mistaken, is just in time for ads.
You're great.
This is my kind of passive. I mean, how many passes you can hold? I do like this idea of getting damage every time you make a kill. It's a brand new base here. Upgraded special action. Just has further range. That just actually did a very good way to get people out of danger. So I'd like to use that one. And buy and sell equipment. I do not believe I can sell. What happens to starting equipment? Glass. Somehow Elite upgrades the range towards obstacles, I suppose. Not sure if these are worth it. What is this? Focus fire. That could be useful. I might want that. That gives everyone a bonus move. And we'll take that as well. Perhaps with those upgrades, I will get further this time. Well, I've already gotten further than last week, but I mean, even beyond that. That does seem to be all the things I can do here. So with our shopping included, I just want to see what the next screen is, but I'm pretty much done with the stream. Ah, it lets me pick a new area. I see. So we will save and quit. And I suppose next week we will explore that new area. And I suppose I might as well give a raid to Captain Dizzle, since he is streaming. So do stick around for the raid into that channel. And I will see you all next week.